Buy cheap and safe NBA 2K22 MT at NBA2King.com. You can use code Excapar, that's EXCAPAR, for 5% off your entire purchase. Alright, we are back with a new video idea, one that I actually haven't done for a while. My face is so red because this camera sucks, but you guys already can tell what it is from the title. But we are going to be reacting to DBG small forward tier list. You guys actually can't see it fully just because I've moved it, but it's DBG's channel. You can see it right there. Look at that, the DBG in the corner. Anyway, we're gonna be reacting to this tier list. My small forwards tier list is actually the second time that I will be reacting to this because my first recording actually corrupted, so this is going to be an interesting time. I kind of already know what I'm going to be saying for this one, so if it seems a little quick, that'd be why. So yeah, anyway, let's get into it. We gotta put on a headset. Actually, gotta put on a headset and make sure it's all good. Ready? Boom. Now we can hear everything that DBG be saying. And just to prove you guys, for the second time recording it, here's me comparing cards that he has in the tier list he talked about a little bit later. And make sure you guys support DBG. This is his video. Obviously, without this, I wouldn't have any content, and I'm reacting to his stuff. So if you haven't already subscribed to DBG, either way, if you're watching me, you've probably already subscribed to DBG. Hit him with a sub button, just like that, and hit him with the like. I actually unsubbed, and here, I'll unlike it just so you guys can watch it. Ready? Subscribe, and hit the like button for DBG. Anyway, here we go with the tier list. I'm going to skip ahead a little bit just because we have some things I think that I can talk about. Pretty average here. So this is kind of one of the first problems that I noticed in his tier list. Is the first off with Bernard King. With this Bernard King, it's in that A tier. I don't agree with the A tier on Bernard King just because, like, the card is good, the card is solid, but, like, let's be honest. Bernard King is not as good as Andrew Wiggins. Not in any, like, sense. Put him down in the B tier if you want. But if we look at Bernard King, man, 6'7", 7-foot wingspan, that should be good. Everybody that I've talked to that has this Bernard King, they do not use him. And they use the Gerald Wallace that you get either around the same time or a little bit later instead of Bernard King, because Bernard King just isn't all that. He should be, you know, a fast, good slasher, but I mean, like, the defense is like, the card just in general I just don't love. I don't think he's that great. The base triple style, which I know DBG absolutely despises, should move him away from that. It's probably just that Curry moving behind the back, to be honest, that he loves. But yeah, take this Bernard King, moving on to B. I think it's okay. Bowen is pretty good. I don't love that Anthony Edwards is down there in the C tier. I think he's pretty equal with Bowen, but Bowen, I think the B tier is solid. Bobby Jones, I think D tier is okay with him. Yes, he can't shoot. Yes, he's one of the best defenders you could possibly find in the game, but he can't really shoot, and he's just nothing, you know, outside of really playing good defense. And then Allen Houston, I think I personally would move Allen Houston up to the C tier. With Allen Houston, yes, I can't spell. He is okay. You know, 6'6", 6'9" wingspan. He can play that 2 guard, which DBG actually states that's the reason why he likes Andrew Wiggins and actually prefers Wiggins over Carmelo Anthony, is because Wiggins can play the 2 guard, so being able to play that 2 guard, I think, should be that W for him. He is missing some badges, but you can add a lot of the things that you need to him, and I think, you know, that base dribble style does suck, but I think you can move him up into the C tier. So I think overall, it's a good start, but I think that Bernard King, it causes a lot of problems with the tier list for me personally as we move on throughout it. But we can talk about one of these next cards.
Brian Russell. So Brian Russell.
Okay.
Look, he's Scotty. He's
ooh.
Worse Scotty Pippen. He's not.
He is a worse Scotty Pippen.
He's E.
That's okay. I also don't understand why he has an E tier. Tier lists are S, A, B, C, D. 5 tiers. That way you have 2 tops, 2 bottoms, and 1 bad one. Like 1 good one right in the middle. We got a good one in the middle, and we got 2 tiers at the top, and then we got 2 bads at the bottom. So adding 2 more tiers just makes it more complex, makes the C tier now your middle, which means all your cards have to be in C tier. It doesn't work out well, so I'm going to talk a lot about, like, just the S through the D tier. I don't think that E tier really makes sense, to be honest, but I do agree that Brian Russell and Ingram are worse, but if you want to show that, just move Edwards into B, Ingram into C, Jones into C, Houston into C, and then move the other 2 to D, and you got it. But I do think that Brian Russell and Brent Berry are on the same. Brian Russell is a worse Scottie Pippen. He's not as good. Brent Berry is an okay card, more on the offense. If they gave Brent Berry clamps, he'd be amazing. But they didn't. So it's tough.
A small forward who can kind of shoot the ball.
Kind of shoot the ball.
Yeah. Or to above mediocre defense.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'll say A. I'll say E.
Yeah, it's okay.
E tier for
Also, like, you hype up the card and then put him in E tier. It's just funny. And then he also throws Cameron Reddish in here, which is he's a good card, I will say that. But it's nothing crazy. Yeah, he's just a bit outdated. If I'm being honest, this Cam Reddish low-key is worse than Brian Russell. But we love Cam Reddish. 2K, please give us like a Ruby and Amethyst, something like that. A Cam Reddish that we can really use, like 3 AD card. I love Cam Reddish cards. But yeah, these 3 in E tier I think is okay. I just don't agree with the E tier like as a concept. I just think it makes it more confusing. But you know, it all works. And then this is where we move up Carmelo Anthony. So also we get the infamous.
I think A tier is the right spot for him.
Oh,
Ron Butler.
I skipped too far back.
Now I'll put Melo in A.
She put Melo in A.
I don't think Melo's as good as Wiggins.
There it is. He doesn't think Melo's as good as Wiggins, which I don't know. I can get to an extent, but I think all of us at this point that have Melo have so many reps with this Melo card, have used his animation so often that he's just immediate S tier. I would leave at Wiggins A. I'd put Bernard King in B, and I'd put Carmelo up in S. Wiggins is a great card. He's an awesome slasher. He's a good shooter. He's a good defender. He's a good playmaker. But Melo is one of the best shooters in the game, an amazing slasher that literally never gets blocked because he has the good basic animations. He's a great playmaker with great badges there, and if you badge him up, he's an amazing defender too, so you got to put him up in S, in my opinion. And this Bernard King, let's be honest, man. Does anybody actually believe that Bernard King's on par with Melo and Wiggins? Because if you do, use Melo and Wiggins, then you realize that you're not really on base with that one. You're not really on base. He puts Caron Butler in the same tier as Anthony Edwards, which I think is perfect. I think Edwards and Caron Butler are on the same tier. I just don't believe that tier is C. I think they're both in B with Bruce Bowen, personally. But look at all the cards we got to rank. DBG, he likes it. He likes his cards. He doesn't do the best tier list like your boy with 150 of them, but you know he's got a lot of them. He's got a lot of them. It's cool. And also, just a quick side note. All right, the card you should be picking up is over here. I don't even know if you guys can see it. It's well, yeah, we're looking at it. Is Mullen or Dale Ellis over here? Why does he pick up TJ Warren? Just keep going and rank them all, one after the other. Doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, he says this TJ Warren is trash.
TJ Warren
Is what was it? A fraud. Yeah, it is a fraud.
There's no other word to describe TJ.
A fraud. And I'll just state it right here. I think that his worthless tier, only one card really makes 100% sense in it, and that is Peja. I think that TJ Warren is better than Russell, better than Barry, better than Reddish. Easy. I think that Jamal Wilkes, you could put him with Brian Russell because his jumper is so bad. And Peja Stojakovic's jumper is horrible and doesn't do anything else well. But Jamal Wilkes is a great defender. So you got to give him that. TJ Warren, I really like the card. I think he's fun. Jump shot 63 is great. Broco is obviously just a better version of TJ Warren. I'd put him B to A tier. But TJ Warren deserves at least to be in his D tier based off of who he puts in there later on as well. I just don't think it makes a lot of sense. Jamal Wilkes, TJ Warren, yeah. And Peja can go in the work. If you wanted to make a worthless tier just for Peja Stojakovic, I'd be 100% okay with that. Just for Peja. Just don't put other cards in there because, let's be honest, Peja's worse than these two. And it's just really not like a competition. And then the Keith Van Horn here, you can tell he really doesn't like Set Shot 4. I think Keith Van Horn should be at the bottom of the tiers, but like, come on. Come on, let's look at Keith. Let's look at Keith. Let's look at Keith. He's 6'10", 6'11" wingspan. This guy's massive. Hall of Fame catch, corner, sniper. Boom. Give me the gold limitless. Hall of Fame glue hands. Comes like gold interceptor. Thank you very much. Great defensive stats. Great post stats. Great shot 3 and midi. And actually pretty good playmaking as well. Yes, the Set Shot 4, absolutely terrible. Honestly, it's not that bad on Dave Bang. I personally think you can put him C tier. I think you can put him C tier. Not with the current people that he has at C tier. I think if you're going to go like off who he has, just move him up with these guys. But yeah, I think that's a sleep. Dale Ellis, I agree, 100% has to be next to Houston. I think they're C tier, not D tier, but it is okay. You have to put these guys next to each other, although Dale is better than Allen Houston. Don't let people lie to you. He's got the shifty dribble style. He is better. 100%. He is better. Then we get 2 additions in Darius Miles and Danny Granger. Granger, I think, is okay putting at that C tier. Equal with Caron, equal with Anthony Edwards. That's okay. If with how he has it, again, I think they all should be B tier. I think we should get rid of the E tier. Yeah, it's fine. And then Darius Miles. Brook Lopez base is good. He's one of the best budget cards that we had for the longest time. He was super fun. Jack of all trades kind of card that is great. And Danny Granger is good. You have the ability to like badge him up, which you don't get with like a Glenn Robinson type. Which is fun. So yeah, you know, I agree with both those picks for where he has the guys. I just don't agree with where he's got, you know, some of these players. So, you know, it all works.
But he is still D tier right now. considering he's a week 1 Ruby, or a 1 week advanced Ruby, it's crazy.
Yeah, right.
Shrimp is A tier.
Detlef Schrempf. Okay.
6'10".
Yep.
Shoot the ball. He's like a slightly worse defensive, slightly taller Bruce Bowen. His movement is all right. Again, he's very, very tall. Shoot the ball.
He's a better Bruce Bowen in general. Like if you took Bruce Bowen, put him in that like the Captain America machine, they juice him up with everything, then you get Detlef Schrempf. Like that's what you get 100% with it. So yes, I agree with the A tier. Move Bernard King down. This dude is the fraud. TJ Warren is not the fraud. Bernard King is the fraud. Oh my God, he does not belong in that A tier. Get him out of there. Get him out of there. And
his release
next up,
they don't know what the hell. They base 11 and base 8 used to be the 2 best releases.
Yeah, sad.
Completely ruined both of them.
Yep.
But Dominique can kind of dunk the ball in a game where you're gonna get chased down every time you dunk the ball. Baylor.
I think
I'm putting Baylor at that Anthony Edwards level. He moves kind of well.
I disagree. Baylor, I don't think moves well at all because he has that base dribble style. And I think I'm personally taking Dominique and I'm putting him at that B tier, like 100%. I think Dominique is severely better than Elgin Baylor. And equal with this Justice Winslow, to be honest, because Winslow doesn't get quick first step. That's a big oversight that a lot of people are making on that Winslow card. He is amazing, but he doesn't get quick first step, which hurts him a little bit, but he's still one of the best budget amethysts in the game, especially for the 2-guard position. And again, if you like the fact that Wiggins can play the 2, and that's the reason you like him over Carmelo, you gotta move Dominique up to B because he can play the 2-guard position as well. Yes, jump shot 8 isn't great, but it's still perfectly fine. He's still got defense. He's still an amazing slasher. He's still a good playmaker. He's better than Anthony Edwards. He's better than Baylor. It's just, I don't know. That's my personal opinion on there. Rocking with it. With the information that I have and what I like. Franz Wagner, I agree with this pick. I also agree where he puts with George Gervin. Both these guys are pretty low rated, and you always have to put that Amethyst Gervin below the Pink Diamond because he's just objectively worse than the Pink Diamond. It's also like, if you've already got that draft one, why the hell are you using this Amethyst? Like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Wagner is also a good card. I haven't really used him a lot, like, at all. Like, this, what is it? I can't really see my keys. That's why I keep typing random ones. Wait, what? Oh, it's WAG. It's WAG. All right, here we go. Wagner is a terrible defender, as you can see, but he's got good shooting, he's got good slashing. He's really an offensive guy. It's exactly what he was in college, too. Slash dribble style, jump shot 39, which is that Oubre and Sean Marion jumper, which isn't great, but he is a better upper than like a Sean Marion does, so you can kind of move him up there, give him the benefit of the doubt, throw him in the D tier, equal with Darius Miles. I honestly will say that Wagner was a bit of a disappointment for me, if I'm being 100% honest with you. This one, we make the change of Gerald Green. I personally think Gerald Green's equal than Anthony Edwards and Karan Butler. Gerald Green, one of my favorite cards. Period. If they would have given Gerald Green a little bit better shooting or defense, he would have been a Jonathan Isaac you can play at the 2. Like Hall of Fame limitless takeoff, blinders, dead eye, hot zone hunter. He's got quick first step, downhill, glue hands on gold, Hall of Fame limitless takeoff, great slashing, jump shot 70 on quick, the shifty dribble style, and then no defense. It's a big letdown. It is a massive letdown for what that Gerald Green card could have been. This one we get Gerald Wallace. Perfect pick by DBG, but he's better than Bernard King. You got to move King down, but great pick right there. Wallace, easy A tier. Another really good pick here by DBG with Glenn Robinson going next to Danny Granger. I've said it a bunch of times. You got to put these guys like neck and neck, just like Dale Ellis and Allen Houston, like neck and neck. You could say, what I would personally say to people, Granger, better 3, Robinson, better 4, although Granger is like 2 inches taller, but yeah, it is what it is. Because Granger, you can actually badge up clamps. Glenn Robinson III, I don't agree with this one. We've talked about this guy. It's again, Glenn Robinson has that secondary position shooting guard. If you're going to say you like him better because he's got the shooting guard position, you got to put him up a little bit. Because this Glenn Robinson really is actually a really good amethyst card. Like a really good amethyst card because you can not add clamps, but he's got everything else besides like sniper that we would want. 85 shot 3. The Glenn Robinson jumper is pretty solid, and he's a godly slasher. And I personally would just use him over this George Gervin. That's just me, but I put him up in there in a C tier with how it is. Another pick that I disagree with is this Grant Hill. I don't love him. I'm putting him down to B tier. I think he plays like a Bruce Bowen that can just move a little better, and like it's not what I'm looking for out of a Grant Hill card, man. It's just it's not my cup of tea. And again, kind of viewing this, you've put Grant Hill on the same tier as Carmelo Anthony. When Grant Hill came out, he wasn't on the same tier as Carmelo Anthony, and he's not that now. I don't love Grant Hill at all, as evidenced by the fact that I'm quite mad about the pick. What do we got next? We are moving Hito Turkoglu into the D tier, which makes sense. Again, I think Hito is a C tier card because he's got the shifty dribble style. Yes, Lamarcus Aldridge base kind of sucks, but he's great. And I think DBG says here that a lot of people are saying that he's like equal to Scotty Barnes or better.
I don't understand how some of the same people are saying Hito's a garbage man. Despite the fact he's got a shifty dribble style.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can shoot from deep.
Yeah, he does great. People sleep on his Hito card crazy. I think he says at some point that like people are saying that he's better than Scotty. That's just objectively wrong. Hito Turkoglu is a great power forward as well. I think C tier is very, very solid. He's great as a secondary position. I don't think that throwing him into D tier really does him justice. And then Tatum into the B tier here is fine. Again, I think Grant Hill and Tatum are roughly on the same tier. So I think both of those should be in the B tier. But yeah, it makes sense. I think it's a little blasphemous though to say that like Bowen is equal to Tatum, it's just kind of tough, which is why I kind of think it's a little weird. Like if you're gonna put Grant, you should also put Tatum up there. Just my opinion. Jimmy Butler, we got this next pick here, great pick, putting Jimmy up into the S tier. Personally, I think with what he does later on, I think Jimmy really, really fits well. But I mean, come on. That's all I need to say. That's all I need to say. Come on. Easy pick. And then we fill out these three here. We got Kawhi Leonard just going to the B tier. Makes sense. It works. I don't think that Kawhi is insane anymore, but he's a good card. Havlicek, again, he has that secondary shooting guard position. He should be moved up to the B tier. And Kawhi Leonard, Pink Diamond, perfect pick. Perfect pick. This Kawhi is a top 1 to 2 small forward and top 1 to 2 shooting guard in the game, period. One of the best cards you can possibly use. If you're going to play 250K this weekend, you need to have that Kawhi in your team. Next one he adds is Kevin Durant, shifty dribble style, KD jumper. It is great. People overrate it. They're like, KD's one of the best cards in the game. Like, yes, he's one of the best cards in the game, but he's not the best. Like, people talk about he's like the best card. He's not. He's a really good card, but he's not like, next level, breaking everybody down, doing everything that he can. He's a good card, but he's just not on that next level. But KD is really good. He also, I think, will move. Oh yeah, he moves my man Jarvis. I love Jarvis. Jarvis is basically a more offensive catered Matisse Thybulle, which is really good. Slightly worse defensively, Matisse Thybulle, and I think Matisse also has silver quick first step, and Jarvis doesn't. Jarvis needs to be up higher. He's not a D tier card. He's better than Landry Fields objectively. Landry Fields also could get moved up a little bit, but Jarvis, yeah, like you can't tell me that you think Gerald Green and Jarvis are on the same tier because it ain't true, man. It ain't true. Like, it ain't true. And then LeBron, yeah, C tier's fine with LeBron. I think he moves up into the B eventually, though, but C tier's fine for LeBron. B tier's fine with this time with LeBron. If I'm being honest, I think what DBG's done by making these extra tiers for himself is essentially meaning that the difference between B to C is like literally nothing. Like, all of these cards are virtually on the same level. Like, there's no reason to separate them. The B tier is meant to be that middle tier because there's not really much separation between them, and all he did was add more separation. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. I think all of these guys really could be interchangeable. Just make them one tier, honestly, and it'll be okay. And then you have more flexibility with like how you can move cards around. It works a little bit better. And then obviously, LeBron S tier. I mean, like, if you argue that, get some help. If you argue that LeBron's not S tier, get some help. He's in the S tier. Come on, we all know it. Matisse Thybulle in the B tier, that's fair. Matisse is better than Bruce Bowen. He can play the 2 guard as well, which I think is why he eventually moves him up into the A tier.
I mean, it's not awful.
It's not awful.
He's also an absolutely brilliant defender. He hits all the defense bars on gold, and
yeah,
he's just a well-rounded card.
He is
a really well-rounded card.
A little bit clunky though.
Matisse Thybulle, B tier.
He's a little clunky though. But I think B tier is okay.
Being 2 tiers ahead of Jarvis Hayes, you're going into C.
There you go.
Jarvis Hayes is a C tier player. Mikal Bridges,
my guy. Jarvis, my guy. That's a good pick. I'm okay with Matisse being better. I personally think they're on the same tier. I don't think that there's that much of a difference. But if he does, that's fine. That's fine by me. I'm okay with it.
Hill in A tier and Detlef Schrempf in A tier. I'm putting Mikal Bridges in A.
Yeah, that works.
Off interceptor.
Yup.
He can shoot.
Nah, that's all you gotta say. Well, Mikal Bridges, you don't need to do the whole he can shoot, he can do this, he can do that. You just gotta go half interceptor. You're done. You win the argument. He's got half interceptor. You're done. Move on. Sit. You're done. You don't have to explain what you need to do. MO Core, is making his way into B tier, and he's a good card. Equal imitation, yeah, you know what, I'll give it to him. Because MO card, really good defender, jump shot 75 on quick is great. Really good slasher, he just doesn't have any badges on the shooting aspect, which, that does hurt him a little bit, if we're being honest. It does hurt him a little bit, but yeah, he's fine. B's fine. B's fine. B's fine. This is another one that I'm like, on. He puts Paul Pierce into B, and Pink Diamond Paul Pierce into B, and then Amethyst into C. I think he got it 100% right on the first pick. I do think that the Pink Diamond is just better. You should go for the Pink Diamond. But DBG's the king of tactical downgrade. He's the king of budgetness, and then he goes and I think moves down the Pink Diamond equal in the C tier. I don't think they're worse than Bruce Bowen. I just, Bruce Bowen is like my anchor point for his B tier. So if he's going to have his tier list this way, I think they both have to be together. They're also not objectively like significantly worse than Tatum, with Tatum's bad jumper compared to Paul Pierce's bad jumper. They do most of the other stuff pretty similar, besides Tatum being a bit better like finisher. So yeah, I don't love that. And then we have Purvis Short, who's basically like a wannabe Vince Carter. He's essentially Vince Carter, just like not bald. He's got the Vince Carter jumper, that power dribble style. I think Vince has slasher, but they're pretty equal in how effective they are. Purvis is a good defender, good slasher, good all-around card. B tier is okay for him. If you look at the actual card, he's actually pretty good. He gets kind of trashed on because, I mean, Purvis Short. I mean, like, come on, it's a bad name. Even Purvis knows it's a bad name. But yeah, he's good. I mean, he's good. He's good. He's got the badges you need. He's got the stats you need. He's got the Vince jumper. I don't love the Vince jumper, but I can't call it trash. I can't call it trash. I just don't love it. And then we have, what is it, my man? What do we, oh, I forgot to talk about these guys. Gerald Wallace and Glenn Rice. I disagree completely with this ranking right here. Gerald Wallace at least needs to be D. Like, Gerald Wallace is not as significantly worse than Landry Fields. Like, it's just, it's not. Like, here, let's look at it. We got Landry Fields, and we're going to type in Gerald. Smart. Gerald has 1 inch longer wingspan. Look at this. Even like the overalls don't work for it. Wallace has 101 total stats more, including 10 more in driving dunk. Yes, the 3-point shot is 11 worse, but with 74 you'll be fine. 18 higher in interior defense, 3 lower in steal, 2 are lower in there. Not a big deal. Yes, his strength is lower, but he's faster across the board. He's a better rebounder, and he comes with Hall of Fame off-ball pass with just better defensive badges besides the gold clamps. Everything else is fine. Comes with some better badges in the shooting aspect, finishing aspect, like a jump shot 4 on both of them. And Wallace actually has a slasher dribble style instead of the base. Like, objectively, they are at minimum on the same tier, although Gerald Wallace is a bit better. So that's just a bad pick. But Glenn Rice, I kind of agree with. He's kind of like Brent Barry. You know, you're there to shoot the ball and not play defense. That's fine. Richard Jefferson. Oh.
He's gonna go into.
Hold up. This I find it funny what he calls him here.
Low A for Richard Jefferson.
I disagree,
His
but
only problem is his release.
Yeah.
That catapult is something that I just can't get used to.
The catapult, yeah, I love the description of it. You know, Richard Jefferson literally like cocks it back like Dirk and then flings it forward. It's like, dog, what are you doing? Like, and it sucks. It sucks because like if you look at the Richard Jefferson card, like actually like, you know, give it a good look. He has, I think, 2 things that are wrong with him: base dribble style and the jumper. You fix those, he's an insane card and he's absolutely amazing because everything else works in his favor 100%. He's got all the badges you need, all the stats you need. Animations just suck. Animations just suck. I do think because of that he goes B tier because, let's be honest, with how we have it, do you really think that Richard Jefferson is on the same tier with Carmelo and Andrew Wiggins and Paul George, who I haven't talked about yet? No. Paul George, again, he's an S tier. Paul George is just amazing at everything and has a really good jumper. Paul George should be an S tier, period.com. Carmelo also should be an S tier, but, you know, it's a different story. That's a different story, but, you know, I don't love it. Who do we move in here? Sadiq Bey moving to B tier. That is perfectly fine. Very similar to Bruce Bowen, but better in my opinion. I think DBG actually does rank his like left to right, which is a bit interesting because Bruce Bowen is definitely worse than Sadiq Bey, but you can put him on the same tier. And here we throw our man Gus Gerard into the C tier, which is a good card, a card that I like. I don't think that he's crazy, but he is a good card. And we have Scottie Pippen in D, who I think he moves up to C, which is a good placing for the Scottie Pippen. Great defender, great slasher, okay playmaker, but can't really shoot the greatest. Definitely lacking there, but he's a good card. I do think Gus Gerard should be up in the B tier. That's just me, though. I think that Gus is like one of those demons that like you low-key sleep on, but is still a really, really good and solid card. And here is an interesting one. Here's an interesting one.
Scotty's in that elite tier of A.
He is in the elite tier of A.
Tier of A with these guys.
Yeah.
We're gonna round up S tier with that.
Underneath those. So this one, it's a weird one for me. I think Scotty belongs in A. If you don't have Melo and Paul George in A. I think Scotty can go in A if you move those two up. And you should also be moving T-Mac down with them. I think T-Mac should go down and Paul George and Carmelo should go up. And I think then your A tier is looking solid. Aside from, Bernard King. It is looking okay. It's looking okay. I'm not horrible about it. He's not horrible. But then what he does is he like switches these around a little bit. He puts Scotty like the best card in the A tier, which I just completely disagree with. Also, if you're ranking them left to right, you're calling Bernard King better than Detlef Schrempf and Jerry Wallace, which is just no. Sean Marion in A tier makes sense though, because Sean Marion, he's got the titty shot, but he's got really, really good defense. So I'm okay with it. I can vibe with it. But it is what it is. What do we got here? Oh yeah, he moves our man Tobias Harris in the B tier. Tobias Harris. No. I think Tobias is down to the C. I don't see a reason to really use this Tobias anymore. He's good offensively. Doesn't really have defense. No, thank you. And then we have the two Vince Carters here, which if we go back to that comparison that I was making, DBG actually separates the two. But I personally think that them and Purvis should all be on the same tier. Like, all be on the same tier. We have 61 better for the Pink Diamond, which really isn't that much compared to an Amethyst. If they ignore the potentials, shot IQ, and intangible. And it's, +1, +3, +4, +2, +2, +1, +2, +2, +2, +2. Like, it's not even a big deal. The biggest difference is that shot IQ, and it's not even included in this +61. The only thing you're getting is better badges, which does make this Vince better, but I don't think it should separate them that much. Put Vince up onto the B tier with Vince, and I think you're good. I think you're okay. And move that Tobias Harris down. Get him out. He's a fraud. He's a fraud. Get him out. And I think that actually wraps up DBG's tier list. So, I guess final thoughts. I think it's overall a good attempt. Again, I think the thing that a lot of people don't love about DBG's tier list, he just jumps between the extremes too much, a little bit. Like, sometimes it's just straight, this card has great stats, great badges, and great animations. And then sometimes it's like, oh, he doesn't have that, but he plays really good when I'm using him. And then there's the, oh, well, he's cheap. And still pretty good, so I gotta move him up. So I think if he just worked on kind of minimizing those extremes, he actually could have a lot better list here. Move that Bernard King down, move Richard Jefferson down, and just get rid of all the tiers, man. It makes it a little bit more confusing, like a lot more confusing than it has to be. Makes it hard to like scroll through and see like all sides of the tier list. So I think it's overall, it's a really good tier list. It's solid for where the game is. Just some slight mistakes I think that I'd move around. There's some big ones like Bernard King that I just can't get over. I just can't get over. But overall, it's a good tier list. So if you guys did enjoy this type of video by your boy, hit the like button down below and comment if you guys want to see me react to any of the tier lists. Any specific ones you guys want to, you can link them down below. Maybe we'll do one or two of those. You never know. If you just like the idea in general, that subscribe button. Also, make sure you do what I did. Head over to DBG's video, give him a nice little like and a subscribe. We always gotta grow the community, support everybody. So yeah, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Like, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff, and I'll see you in the next